Under his wing and protection, she performs everything.
Those that live in that life is made of wounds, disease, and putrefying souls.
See? He's fun, right? Was this the guy who eventually bankrupted you? I would be happy to not revisit this splinter, but his associations with morality and women have to do with both of our stories. This dry dullard got me locked up for a year with his made-up obscenity laws.
It is obscenity that will corrupt and disease. The end of vice starts with women. They must be protected from their own infantile ways. It is my crusade that we must educate them of their sin and allure and return them to their homes so they may educate their own children on how to avoid moral corruption. Remove women from the public. They must avoid any activities outside of the home. Men only buy smart because women pose for it.
Can we turn it off? It's awful, isn't it? All right, let's take it to your home state in your time. I recognize him. You know Dr. Olin just like I know Comstock, from when he stood on the witness stand and tried to diminish your rights.
Michigan progresses ahead with its plan to place infected girls in hospitals. All carriers of disease are liable to infect others, and we must not let our soldier boys become diseased.
He's referencing the soldier boys waiting in training camps to go overseas and fight in the Great War.
It is my intention to build institutions to place the infected in. The infected will be placed and examined, and will be isolated when isolation is deemed as necessary. As we know, it is promiscuous women and prostitutes who spread disease. Men take precautions. Women are negligent. One woman will infect 10 men for every one man who will infect one woman.
The statements expressed here have not been approved by a modern medical authority. Or in this case, any human capable of basic thought.
Under my authority in the Rural Health Commissioner, I appoint Dr. Thomas Carney as medical inspector over Alma, Michigan.
Oh, no. There are way too many jerks on this stage right now. That's better.
Drastic action is needed in Alma. The presence of so many soldiers in the city is bringing women of an unsavory reputation into the city frequently. I am determined that some of the existing conditions shall cease at once.
Are you ready for this, Nina? For June 1st, 1920?
I wasn't ready the first time it happened. I'm not sure if I am now.
prosecution calls plaintiff Nina McCall Rock to the stand.
I am the plaintiff here, and I turned 19 years old on September 2nd, 1919. I spent my whole life in Michigan, my girlhood in the country. Then when I was 10 years old, I moved to St. Louis. My father died when I was 16.
Were you healthy as a girl, Mrs. Rock?
I have always been healthy.
And you lived with your mother?
And my grandfather. He was ill, she was taking care of him.
Have you ever met the defendant, Dr. Thomas Carney, prior to the incident on October 31st, 1918?
No, I had never even heard his name.
Have you ever heard of the Bay City Detention Hospital?
No.
I want you, so... I want you to tell the courtroom what happened on October 31st, 1918.
Mother sent me to the post office, like always.
Is your mother here in the courtroom today?
Yes. She's sitting right there.
All right. So she sent you to the post office, and then?
I was leaving the post office when I was stopped by the deputy sheriff, Mr. Martin. I knew then that he was stopping girls, but I didn't know why just yet.
Mrs. Rock, I want you to tell the courtroom the conversation you had with Mr. Martin.
Yes,
Objection,
but-
Your Honor. Any answers the plaintiff may give have no place on the record, as Sheriff Martin is not here to dispute them, and they could be damaging to the defendant.
Objection sustained. The question is to be struck from the record.
Your Honor. All right. Mrs. Rock, I want you to tell us what happened after your conversation with Mr. Martin.
Yes. I went home to tell Mama that I was to report back to Sheriff Martin that he could drive us in his car to Dr. Carney's office in Alma.
And how
We waited there for, sorry,
far is Alma from St. Louis?
about 3 miles or so.
And so you went home briefly.
Yes, and Mama came with me. Then he did drive us in his car to Dr. Carney's office in Alma. We waited there for a while until Dr. Carney came to get us. He had me follow him back to his office. He said that I had been reported to him that someone had been complained that they had been searching for me for weeks. He said that he wanted to examine me. I asked for what? He said for venereal diseases. I said no, I knew I was not diseased.
How did you know that you were not diseased?
Because I had never had any relations with any men. And I was perfectly healthy. But he said that he was the health officer, that he had the authority, that I would have to submit to an examination.
Huh. So you believe Dr. Carney and you submitted to an examination and
No,
what happened
no.
then?
You see, he said that it was the law, that I would have to submit to an examination or submit to the House of Corrections, to the prison in Detroit. That if I didn't want to go to jail, I would be forced to submit to an examination.
So you submitted to an examination because you were afraid that Dr. Carney would send you to the House of Corrections if you did not.
Yes, I was afraid he'd send me to jail.
Huh. And at that time, did he perform the examination despite your objections?
Yes.
Have you ever had an examination like that before?
No.
Did Dr. Carney explain what would happen in the examination?
No. He didn't say what he was going to do. It was humiliating. It was painful. Mother and I were both sobbing. I was just scared to death the whole time. I was afraid.
What happened after the examination?
We went out to his waiting room. We were there for 5 minutes when Dr. Carney came to get us.
And what did he say to you?
He said, I find this girl slightly diseased. That I'd been diseased for 2 years since I was 16 years old.
Slightly diseased.
That's what he said.
Did he say with what?
He said with gonorrhea.
And how did you respond?
I said that couldn't possibly be true, that I had never had any relations with any men, but he said that he had not said I had had relations with men, just that I was slightly diseased. He said there were other ways to get it.
Let the record show that there are no other ways.
Objection, Your Honor.
Strike that from the record. Prosecutor, the information is to be provided by the witness on the stand.
To return to your story, Mrs. Rock. Dr. Carney said that you were slightly diseased.
Yes, he insisted that I was. I said that I wasn't, and then he said, are you calling me a liar, young lady?
What did you say?
I said yes.
You called him a liar.
I said, yes, sir, you are saying that I am diseased. That's what he said. I would have to go to the Bay State Detention Hospital for treatment. It was either that, or they put up a sign outside my front yard.
Did he tell you what the sign would say?
He said it would say, venereal disease in all red capital letters, that everyone would surely see it. They would personally see to it. The text was both readable and noticeable. That it would be a disgrace. Mama even offered to pay for me to be treated at home, but he said we couldn't afford it, and that it wouldn't work anyways. that my only real choices were Bay City or jail. So I said I'd go to Bay City. I didn't think I had a better choice.
And did he tell you what Bay City was?
He said it was a detention hospital, but I just assumed it was a hospital like any other hospital.
And did he send you right then and there?
No. He told me to go home and come back that afternoon. So Mama and I went home. And when I got home, I found that I had blood through my trousers.
From the examination.
Yes.
Mrs. Rock, when did you eventually end up going to Bay City?
Not until a week later.
Can you explain why? If you were seen as a threat, why did it take you a week to go to Bay City?
I do not know why. I just know that I came back right after he asked. And he told me to go back home and come back the next day. It went on like that for a week. I would travel all that way every morning and he would send me back home.
But then 7 days later, he told you that that was the day.
Yes. He introduced me to Ida Peck, who said would take me to the hospital. But by that time, I had changed my mind because of Mama's health. You see, that week her health had taken a turn for the worse, and I was worried about her. I begged him to put up a sign. I told him for help that I had to say. I was crying. But he said that it was too late, that I would have to go, that I wouldn't mind it there. They would go downtown a couple of times a week.
And at that point, had you signed any of the paperwork?
No, that happened next.
So despite you not signing anything, you believed Dr. Konner when he said that it was too late, that you had to go to Bay City.
I didn't think I had a choice.
And so he made you sign the paperwork.
Yes. I got sent to the county clerk's office with some rolled up papers Dr. Konner said were about Bay City. The notary asked me if I knew what the paper said, and I told him that Dr. Konner had told me they said I was to obey orders at Bay City. Then he told me to sign them, and so I did.
Not truly knowing what the paper said.
Yes.
Because if you would have known that you were willingly committing yourself to detention, you wouldn't have signed the papers.
No, I never would have. At that point, I had begged for the sign, but I was crying because of Mama and the shame, and I couldn't think.
What happened after you signed the papers?
I went home to get my clothes and say goodbye.
And what did you tell your mother about your leavings to Bay City?
I just said, Mama, I have to go now.
Imagine a week of torture and uncertainty and then...
Objection, Your Honor.
Stick to the facts of the story, Mr. Kelly.
Mrs. Rock, can you tell us about the time at Bay City? What happened?
They took me for a blood test, and then they sent me to wash dishes.
Did you wash dishes often at Bay City?
Yes. For the first 5 weeks, I didn't get any treatments for any diseases. I just washed dishes and scrubbed floors and bathrooms. I begged to leave lots of times, but everyone said they did not know when I could leave.
And when you started getting these treatments, can you tell the courtroom what it was like?
They were called shots. They didn't tell me what was in them, but they did say they were for syphilis. I told them I didn't have syphilis. No one said that I did, but they said that I did have it, and I'd have to receive treatment for it. The shots were awful. They hurt. And my shot arm swelled so much I could hardly move it or anything. It was lame and useless. I couldn't sleep, and I suffered with my mouth. Even now, my teeth get so sore and loose you've been them any place. They weren't like that before. And my hair started to fall out.
And at some point, you found out that these shots were mercury and arsenic injections. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us about your time at Bay City? How was the food, the sleeping accommodations?
I stayed in a room with just one window in it. There were 2 beds. I shared my bed with another woman. The food was just mostly potatoes and beets. And I scrubbed every day for hours, even when my arm was swelled so big from the injections. I hated it. I wrote to Mama, and she wrote back sometimes, but our letters were always opened and read before I got them, and my letters, they were destroyed if I said anything about the hospital, about what was going on.
What liberties did you have in and about the hospital?
We were allowed outdoors with permission. We go out to the yard every once in a while, just not past the ditch. I never asked to leave the grounds or go downtown because they said we weren't allowed to. Other women or girls that were there did go downtown and return. I know of punishment they received for leaving the grounds.
And what do you know in that respect?
You mean a punishment?
Objection, Your Honor. Surely Dr. Konner is not connected with what happened at Bay City.
Sustained. The question of punishment is irrelevant. New question, Mr. Kelly.
Mrs. Rock, when did you eventually leave Bay City?
End of January. They said I was free from infection and could go home.
Did you see Dr. Carney again?
Yes, lots of times. About a week after I was released, Ida Peck came to see me at my mother's house. She said that I needed to report back to Dr. Carney for further treatment. That they had given me the wrong kind of mercury. I needed to see him every 5 days for further injections. I didn't see why I should have to. I was negative in everything, but she said I'd have to go. At first, I said I wouldn't, but then she threatened to send me to jail again.
And so you went?
Yes. For 3 months, Miss Peck just hounded the life out of me, chasing me day and night. She wouldn't leave me be.
And these injections, did you suffer with them as well?
Worse. I was always so lame I could hardly walk. I begged Dr. Carney to let me stop them, but he said I would have to take 48.
And how did you spend your days during those months?
Looking for work. I found a job at a restaurant, but as someone reported, I had been to Bay City. So they let me go. It was as if everyone knew and no one would hire me. It was disgraceful.
All the while, Ida Peck was showing up at your house often.
Yes. I decided to marry a man I knew from the restaurant. His name was Claire Rock. I married him to get away from Miss Peck. I had hoped that he might protect me from her. But then, on our wedding night, I found out the only reason he married me was because he knew I had been to Bay City. That he thought he could do with me as he pleased. He wanted me to make his living for him by having me. I told him I would not live with him under the conditions he wanted me to live.
Your Honor, at this time, the prosecution asks for a very brief recess.
A 15-minute recess is granted. The court stands in recess until 1:20.
Mom, are you alright? Why wouldn't they let you say what the sheriff said? Why was that irrelevant?
They were trying to take any of the evidence out, anything that would make it seem that Nina was willing to go to Bay City willingly.
Willingly? How could anyone think she would want to go willingly?
I asked for the recess to make sure that it was on the record.
I wouldn't have signed the papers. I didn't know.
We have to stick to the facts now. We have to focus on them, especially with this judge. He seems very particular to feelings and emotions.
I'm sorry. Yes, all right.
You are doing great in there. Just a couple more questions with me, then it'll be time for the cross-examination. Remember, their aim is to prove that Dr. Carney acted within the law. They're going to do anything to make it seem that you were reasonably suspicious of promiscuity.
I'd like to see what they have to say. And furthermore, I'd like to know whether...
Mama.
I'll have to stay. I'll have to see what they could possibly say about my Nina.
Just a bit of smoke and mirrors. If I can stop any of the real hogwash, I will.
Mom, I don't think you should stay. Someone can forget you when it's over. Best you not get too emotional. The judge being so particular and all.
She has a strong argument, Mrs. McCall. No need to get an emotional toll on things. Not with your testimony next. 10 minutes, Nina.
It's not right. I should be there. I should have been there at Bay City. I
I've
should
been there for me.
Don't let them think anything less of yourself, baby. You didn't do anything wrong. You were done wrong. Anyone with common sense would see that.
I'm so tired of everyone looking at me. And why is it only men on the jury? I feel sick.
No, not by Nina. You keep fighting, okay?
Yes. I think this next part is going to be the toughest, so I just have to get through that. That lawyer, Mr. Smith, he stares the hardest.
I know he is a lawyer, Nina, but he's just a man. He's just a person. He's no better than you, no better than anyone.
But he is a man, like the jury.
No, Nina, no, don't think like that. They are people too. They must care about this. If it had been their daughter, if they had worried themselves sick for months and months. Look here, Nina, out the window. You said it would be rain this morning, didn't I?
Here it comes, huh?
Windy too, huh? Oh, look, lightning.
Mom, I have to go back in now.
Okay. I wish I could be there for you, Nina, but you don't need me, baby. You are so brave. Don't let them crack that.
No. Not now that I feel I have so little left to lose.
your signature here.
Yes,
And this one here as well, that's your signature. You personally signed this.
yes.
I'd like to read what is written above your signature. Nina M. McCall, that's you, yes?
Yes.
Because it was before your marriage. Nina M. McCall, duly sworn, deposes and says she was given the choice between an in-home quarantine and becoming a patient at the Bay City Detention Hospital, and chooses to become a patient at said hospital. And this is your signature.
But I wasn't sworn as it says.
It says here you were.
But I didn't read it. I was crying and I couldn't think, and I just did what I was told. Dr. Carney said I'd go to prison if I didn't.
Did Dr. Carney force you to sign these papers?
No. But he said I had to or I'd go to jail.
Did he use physical force to influence your signature?
No, but he said I had to.
Yes. Is it common for you to sign things without having read them?
I wouldn't say it was common.
Can you tell the court what specifically prompted you to file a suit against Dr. Carney?
I suppose specifically it was that Mother spoke to a woman who said that the state of Michigan had no authority to quarantine anybody. They had no right, no law.
So this acquaintance of your mother, she's the one that convinced you to file a suit against Dr. Carney?
No. Well, not exactly.
Not exactly.
I didn't know what I could do until then, but we wanted to do something, Mom and me. We talked about right and wrong after what happened, and we felt that I had been injured, that what happened to me wasn't fair or right. What happened to me was wrong.
Can you tell me, Mrs. Rock, how it is with so little household income you were able to afford Attorney Kelly?
Mama worked in Detroit some of last year, and we've been supported by generous members of the community.
You mean this friend of your mother's?
No, she didn't pay for my lawyers.
Is it true, Mrs. Rock, that your father died when you were 16 years old?
Yes.
And this is around the first time Dr. Carney says you were infected with gonorrhea.
That's what he said.
You understand why you were under suspicion of promiscuity when you were questioned by Sheriff Martin on October 31st of 1918?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever have any intimate relations with soldier boys visiting town?
No, that's not true at all.
Not true at all. I would like to remind you, Miss Rock, that you are under oath. Who is Lloyd Knapp?
Lloyd Knapp was just a boy who lived near our house on Page Drive. We had talked about marriage.
And isn't it true that Mr. Knapp is enlisted in the Army?
Well, yes, he had, but that was after we had talked about marriage. I didn't mean to say that I didn't associate with Lloyd, just that I didn't think of him as a soldier because he wasn't one when we were together.
In your associations with Mr. Knapp, were you ever alone, unchaperoned?
Yes.
Did you ever spend the night with him?
No, never.
Did you have sexual relations with him?
No. I didn't have sexual relations with anyone.
You never told anyone that you had sexual relations with him?
No, I didn't say that because it wasn't true.
But we must rely on your testimony, I suppose, but I will be introducing evidence to say she said.
Objection, Your Honor. If the evidence is given, then let it be given.
Your Honor, you may strike it from the record, but I will indeed be adding evidence and it may be recorded at that time. Did you ever accept car rides from soldiers?
No, I did not.
Did you ever ride alone in cars with boys?
Yes. Once, just once. There was a time. I was 16 or 17. It was about 9 o'clock too when I got home at night. But the boy was a boy that I knew from before, from Alma. There were 2 of us girls and 2 boys, and the boys weren't soldiers. They stopped the car. They asked us told us what we had to do, but we said no. We got out and we walked home. We did not submit to them. And it was just that one time, and we didn't do anything.
Why accept the ride at all?
It wasn't uncommon for a few of us to ride home together.
So this was common for you to ride alone in cars with boys?
No, I didn't mean to say that it was common for us to accept rides from boys, just that it was common for us to accept a ride with the family we knew after dark.
And this riding in cars with boys that you're speaking of, where were you traveling from?
Just from downtown.
After dark? Doing what?
I don't remember exactly. Getting ice cream. I think, no. It was a dance. That night it was a dance.
So you were dancing with these boys?
Some, but
But you weren't intimate with them at all?
no, I wasn't.
So you'd like for us to believe that you went dancing with these boys, you accepted a car ride from them, but you declined their advances, all of their advances?
That's the truth.
What's the truth?
That we danced with them some, that we took a car ride. But they made advances places that we said no, and then when they wouldn't stop, we got out and we walked home. It is the only time I have walked home in the dark. I have not forgotten. I am not mistaken.
Did you ever accept a car ride from a boy you didn't know?
No. As I said, that is the only time I accepted a car ride, and I knew him.
Isn't it true that you accepted a 19-mile car ride from a soldier?
No, never.
The accusation is being made that you had improper relations with a soldier.
Well, I didn't.
Did you ever go out with a Jack Pope?
No.
Did you ever ride alone in a car with him?
No.
After you married Mr. Rock, did you stay in the area with him?
No. After he made his intentions clear, he told me he was going to Detroit with some woman. So I let him go. I wasn't going to go with him. And I met a friend. I traveled with her for a while.
A friend?
Yes, she was a woman I knew from St. Louis. We were reacquainted at Bay City.
During this time of travel, did you stop receiving injections from Dr. Carney?
Yes, it is the reason that I traveled. I couldn't keep getting the injections. It was torturous. And I was supposed to have been cured. And I never had any disease to begin with.
So you ran away?
Yes. I suppose you could say that I ran away. I ran to get away from his pet, and I couldn't find work. I had to get away.
Is it true, Mrs. Rock, that you ran away so that you could resume your habits from before your time at Bay City?
What do you mean, my habits?
Your associations with men.
No, it's not true.
Do you understand the role and duties of Mrs. Peck and Dr. Carney?
Only what they told me.
Do you understand that you were under suspicion of promiscuity and venereal disease, and it was their job, appointed by the state, to test and detain you?
I understand that is what they say. I do not understand how or why I could have been reported to them, and I do not understand how I could have been deceased.
Were you ever intimate with Mr. Knapp or any other soldier boy?
I wasn't. I don't know how many ways I can say it.
Did you ever kiss Mr. Knapp?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
My client is being taken to court for doing his job. This girl says improperly. I am merely trying to establish that there was some question of Mrs. Rock's promiscuity, and to show that he was working under the Chamberlain-Kahn Act and Michigan state law as it stands.
The objection is overruled. Answer the question, Mrs. Rock.
The question.
Did you ever kiss Mr. Knapp, Mrs. Rock?
Once after our engagement,
Where was this kiss?
at the table at my mother's house.
Was your mother home?
Not at the time.
Then how can you say you were not intimate with him?
Because I wasn't! I didn't do anything wrong! You won't win! Liar!
Words, familiar acts, and too thin or otherwise suggestive and conspicuous clothing is arousing the feeling of the man and making herself responsible for his temptation and mistakes. There are good girls in every community who are near the danger point and who are pitifully ignorant of the diseases that await them and who enter into immoral relations more out of curiosity than because they are bad at heart. Young girls from 14 up living at home are the ones that are spreading a large percentage of the infections. Mothers can best protect their daughters by filling their child's mind with the thoughts of the sacredness of motherhood.
About 2 hours by car from Alma to Dearborn, Michigan, where there is now a middle school named after O.L. Smith, Dr. Carney's attorney in Nina's case, and where my husband and I opened a pub in the 40s. Huh? Is he gonna talk?
Apparently.
Alcohol use and the woman. The campaign against alcohol is an important part of the campaign against venereal disease. The public health of the state is the first concern of the state. The feminine alcohol user is naturally lascivious. The ballroom is no place for a woman.
Right. This guy?
Appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court in 1939, Justice Frankfurter. What a weenie.
Only those who do not see or care about the everyday demands of a woman's life would be so naive as to summon up the entire women's movement into a meaningless and mischievous phrase about equal rights. Nature made man and women different. The Women's Party cannot make them the same.
Hear, hear.
It's absurd!
Don't talk to each other.
We are merely speaking of the indecency of women.
Yes, and it's getting a little old, honestly. I might have been a little too forceful there. I better go check.
Social changes have little effect on whether a state would like to draw a sharp line between sexes whenever it comes to vice or virtue. There is no reason why a law shouldn't forbid women from working behind a bar.
Go on, you've had your time. We're done here. Not sure how I got roped into this nutty broad parade. Vicky is very persuasive. What I want to speak of is of the injustice done to every woman who worked during wartime just to be told to go back home when the war was over. Hey girls, get out of public and go back to your role as second-class citizens. Go on, eh? I never got to see that injustice corrected during my time, despite the work and money I put into trying to actually achieve the liberty I supposedly was promised because I live in this country. It doesn't say with liberty and justice for some, huh? Nina, Victoria, and myself, shades of sameness.
Calm down, Maj. We'll give him a minute or two.
Come down to old Valentine's Tavern, eh? From Detroit.
Where else? No lawyer around here would do it.
Think of it, over 50,000 people in a city and no good for nothing lawyer in it.
She's a bit bitter about it, huh?
How irrelevant is the size of a town to who gets to bartend in it?
Worried barmaids can't break up a drunken brawl. They haven't met Matthew.
They haven't. They can't know any barmaids.
Just last week, it was me who had to stop waitressing and tell two jacks to break it up.
Thomas was working. Wish I could have seen that.
You know, you can't sit here every morning while I set up, distracting me from my